All right, John, or anyone else out there having issues with the cocking block. First thing you do when working on your gun, you degas it. So take off your bottle. I'm going to take off the suppressor first. Suppressor off. Air off. Now, if you can't cock it to release your regulator pressure, you unscrew this right here. But since I can, I'm clear, I know there's no ammunition in there. Fire in a safe direction. Okay, double check. Still got a couple in there. And because the pressure trying to equalize, it's degassing. Okay, check the regulator pressure. That should be fine for degassing. Next step, you remove your scope. Rifle scope needs to come off. So let's take this. And for the rifle scope and a few of the other pieces, everything's metric here. Don't recall exactly, I think it's a...
Oh crap.
What?
I turned it around on myself.
Yeah, that's okay. Let's see what it is. Is it a 5? No. Alright, we got 4 millimeters what it actually is. 4 mil. So 4 mil, use the regular wrenches, or you can use, like I'm doing. I like to loosen it. A couple quick turns. Okay, scope is off. Now you're left with your actual gun. Since I'm not going to be messing with much on the bottom, I'm just going to leave it like this so we can work with it. Okay, so your 4 mil, you also need for the center here. Take this nut off, or excuse me, this Allen socket head off. Okay, next you need a 2.5 millimeter. Got it there, but I've also got it right here. 2.5 millimeter, 2.5 here, 2.5 millimeter to take off the rail. You have 2 here, and you have your 1.5 mil there. Same thing, I just like to loosen it real quick, and then do it the rest by hand. That one's out. That one's out. Whole rail comes off. Just leave your two 2.5s in the back and your 1.5 mil right there. Okay. These are a little tighter, so I give them a couple turns until I feel I'm snug. Now you're gonna stick your rail back on over here. And your 4. I don't tighten it all the way yet. Make sure all the other 2 index in or line up with the holes, whatever you'd like to call it. And same process. Quarter turn or more until they're tight. Okay, it's tight. Bottle, then I'll do scope. Okay. And of course, that's me causing a leak. So because when I was turning, I probably pinched an O-ring. Now I have to go back and tear it down to fix that. But again, just to show you, and the air's coming out right there. So I need to go through and just undo what I did, because I know I pinched an O-ring in there. But that's how it's done. Okay, we just took this off. One 5mm socket head, and this was two 2.5mm socket heads also. Just take the whole thing, set it aside. Next, you want to take your cheek rest off. Same, just crack anything that's torqued down so that you can do it by hand. You can use a regular Allen keys for this. Same exact thing. I just like to do it this way. You have to take all this off, including this top rail, to actually get to your cocking block. And again, 2.5mm Allen key is what you need to tear this whole thing down. I'm just using one that's a socket since I have it on hand. Same thing, leave all four of these 2.5mm socket heads in there. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 that you have to take off of here to get to the cocking block. Now, I could have taken the barrel out already or not. When that's taken out, it's not as critical as just getting down to your block itself. I'm going to show the top to see which ones I'm taking off. The only stuff you're going to be taking off is shown. I mean, every one of these has to come out, all 12. Again, we cracked all of them so that they're not torqued down. And the specific piece that's broken on Your Gun John is a little pin, and I have to look at the block itself, but it might be something that has to be drilled out. It might just be something that you can tap out from the top. I'm not sure. So when we get there, we'll see. This is number 10, 11, and this is number 12. See if I unscrewed them enough to just lift it straight off. Alright, you just leave everything in there if you'd like. Okay, now down to the cocking block itself. It looks like on top you actually have something you might be able to remove, but this is another part that you have to get down into it. Right here. I don't believe it's a 4, I believe it's a 3. See, you got a 3 right here. 3 mil, 4 mil, and 2.5. You can tear down the whole gun. Okay? Now, the barrel, little twist. And the whole thing should slide out. This right here comes off the front. I leave it on instead of removing it later. Now the block will come out. So what I do is I lift off, pull back, lift up. And the piece that you broke is right there. Now again, I'm not 100% positive if removing. No, there isn't. You might have to draw that out. There might be an item that's tapped in there. Because on the back side, there's no place for you to remove it. So you're either gonna have to drill it out, or if there's enough of it sitting, pull it out. But again, that piece right there indexes into the bottom of this. And to put the whole thing back together again, same process. Once you fix that piece, I just put the block piece forward right here. I make sure they match up. Okay. That's where it's supposed to be. Take the barrel. As you can see, everything's kind of slipping around a little bit. Take the barrel and the meatier side, the thicker side of this indexing block or aligning block, whatever you'd like to call it, goes on the bottom. So you just push the whole thing in again and you twist it until the back indexes in into the rear of the block, or the rear of the area where your magazine goes. It's generally easier if you've got it cocked, or at least out of the way. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So now again, mine. Everything's there. And if you get the screws mixed up, the 3 long screws here, I believe, are 30 mil or 25. I don't remember exactly, but these are the longer 1, 2, 3 up here. Show 1, 2, 3. These are the longer 3. That's a smaller 6 mil, I believe. And then these 4 are all the longer. I believe 8 and 6 is what the sizes are. There's an 8, there's a 6. So that's where these all go. And same process, make sure everything's lined up. Oh, of course, make sure you have the right one. I do not know torque spec on these. I just loosely tighten them all and then give them one turn to snug everything down. But I think the biggest hurdle you're going to end up with, the block being, that pin being broken. You might end up having to buy another $50 block from FX or find one of the guys that has a Saber Tactical ambidextrous one for sale, or see if one of the guys that installed one of those will give you their block for free trade, or 20 bucks or something. Okay, that's 11. This is 12. Okay, now again, I just give about a quarter turn on each one to snug everything. See. Okay, next item right here, and it helps if you screw them in just a little so that they match up to the holes. Did it again. I'm gonna put that 3 away. Okay. Again, when the screw's sticking out at the bottom socket head, it helps index it into the 4 holes. Okay, she's indexed in. And please don't mind the rusty screws right now. I'm already looking for titanium. I'm in a corrosive environment near the Gulf, and the air just wreaks havoc on all of our stuff.